And down here at the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have our red Terran player from the team Mouse Sports. Their ace, it is ThorZaIN. And his opponent up here in the upper right-hand corner from the team FX Open Esports, our blue Terran player, it is GuMiho. Don't forget, guys, that both these players have won themselves $500 in prizes for taking at least 6th place in the tournament, 5th or 6th place. And they are fighting not just to stave off elimination, but the winner of this guarantees themselves a spot in the top 4 and thus $1,000 in prizes.
Yeah, not bad, man. You could buy a lot of hours in a PC bong with that.
That's true. Yes,
it's true.
That's the kind of reinvestment I'd like to see off of the pro players. Let's just make myself better with my money.
Exactly. Apparently, Nestea prefers to practice in PC bongs.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, well, he doesn't live in the team house or anything.
I knew that, so, yeah, but I didn't know if he just practiced at home or if it was all in PC bongs.
No, he actually does practice in PC bongs mostly.
Ah, gotcha. Interesting.
Yep.
I wonder, is he swarmed by his adoring fans every time he goes out?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe recognized. Who knows?
Hey, we have a gas first now for GuMiho. I think this is the first gas first we've seen in this set so far. So, see if GuMiho has something a little tricky, high-tech up his sleeve. He does love the gas first, then just one gas Banshee opening, Banshee expand. But we'll see if he adds on a second one and decides to do something a little bit more one base.
Well, this is one of the games where you might see something a little bit crazier, you know? I mean, ThorZaIN is kind of fighting for his life here. GuMiho is too. He only needs to win one more game to advance. Sometimes that kind of inspires players to try a little bit of cheese builds, and sometimes players, you know, that are down like ThorZaIN kind of want to do something to just get the game over fast. You know, they're nervous, they just want to win. So these are usually the types of games where we might see some really early aggression here.
All right, well, let's see now as ThorZaIN is going to scout out, find his opponent, and he'll know exactly what's up right away, as GuMiho is going to have enough gas saved up for that fastest possible factory as soon as that barracks finishes as well. ThorZaIN going to get in there in just a second, though. Get a pretty good beat on what his opponent's doing.
Yep. SCVs, you know, they probably have like little cell phone things worked into their suits so they can tell people right away.
I'm just imagining, for some reason, I just had the thought, we're going to take that comment 50 years from now, and we're going to come back and see it. Is that going to be like, is that going to be to us as someone like 100 years ago? They probably have telegraphs in their suits, and they're letting their comrades know back at home. So
and wires stretching all the way from the base to their suits.
Cell phones.
They like have a little Morse code thing in front of them, and the controls are like beep 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 beep.
Yes. I wonder if cell phones are going to become a thing of the past as well, as we all have integrated telecommunications inside of our brains, implants of some sort.
You know, no matter how far technology advances, I really don't think that implants are ever going to get popular. There's just something weird about, you know, implanting computers and stuff into your body. I think it's going to freak a lot of people out. It freaks me out, man. I would rather, like, have it, like, on the, you know, like the cuff of, like, a shirt or something where it was, like, sewn in or something, you know, have a little communications relay or whatever. But implanted in my brain, I would prefer not. I want to stay all human.
I'll volunteer for it. If I get hacked, then so be it. It'll be a good experiment.
Exactly. What happens if you get hacked?
I'll be advancing the
human like punching
species.
yourself for no reason. It's like, oh, I guess Cas Pajamas got hacked again. This happens.
That's what they would do. They wouldn't use me to commit crimes or anything like that. They would have me punch myself repeatedly in the head.
That's right.
That's what I would do if I would hack people, because I wouldn't want to do anything that's truly devastating. I would just want to prove that your technology is bad.
They can do a funny dance or something?
Exactly, yeah. Hellion goes down. Poor Hellion.
Yep, doesn't see anything, so ThorZaIN's build remains a secret.
That's true.
Looks like he may be going for, well, I didn't quite see it. He did a factory right next to the starport.
It's there, but he's not using it for anything right now. GuMiho did see the expansion and the reactor barracks, though, so we'll see how he reacts.
Yeah, it looks like Banshees from both of these guys, although ThorZaIN making that Viking first. He wants to stay safe. Nothing wrong at all with that.
Yeah.
Well, it might be. We'll see. We'll see if he switches it over.
And looks like he's already preparing, actually, as you know, he did see that gas first. It looks like he's very aware of his opponent's style, so he wants to make sure he's not going to get killed by anything right away. Yeah. At first, Banshee is running across the map now.
Banshees have been so good for GuMiho, basically all tournament long, that, you know, you can kind of expect it. Banshees used to be one of those things that were really popular in TVT, then they became sort of popular, and now they're like really popular again in TVT. So a lot of players will just kind of like blindly prepare for them, even if they don't necessarily know that it's coming.
And looks like ThorZaIN is going to be able to react in time. Will he kill it, though? GuMiho tried to get another kill there. Pretty risky on his part, but he gets it done. The Vikings shifting up now to try and finish it off.
Yeah, certainly could. That Banshee definitely dead enough that it's not going to be a threat anymore to ThorZaIN unless it goes home and gets repaired.
And ThorZaIN's producing a bunch of Vikings out of this, not swapping over and getting Banshees. He is just going to continue with tank and marine production.
I like this, though. I like it. You know, no sort of really risky sort of I need to get in there and harass opening, just going into a safe, standard style of play. And it's always cool to me when players just kind of skip any sort of opening and just go right into standard play. They're like, all right, I just want to have a strong army, a strong economy, want to be able to defend anything that comes at me early on, and then I just want to have a strong push lined up a little bit later. It's very clear-cut, very straightforward, but it's also very strong, too, because you don't have anything else messing with that. You're just going to have the most units of that at that given time.
GuMiho actually moving into a reactor powering build with his factory. I like that. You sometimes saw that against Zerg players. You know, Terran versus Zerg, once you start with the reactor Hellions, you move back and just drop down reactors and then swap barracks onto them whenever they're finished. And but GuMiho actually doing this now in a TVT, and it's going to work out pretty well and give him quite the marine count very early on.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here with that. Oh, Hellions trying to duck in and do a little bit of damage there, but with 2 tanks, it's going to be pretty tough.
Yes, very tough, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, ThorZaIN with a little bit of a supply lead here, just because he's killed off a couple units and also because he hasn't been, you know, teching any extra.
Yeah, it certainly didn't, you know, go up to Banshees or anything that required a long delay in supply to come out. Now actually double producing those Vikings. He's already got 3 out there, so this is almost a kind of a blast from the past. Very heavy Marine, tank, and Viking. No medevacs quite yet.
Yeah, this is fine. I actually think this is a perfect idea by ThorZaIN to play like this. You know, just this is like the epitome of standard safe play in TVT. And now look at this. He's got a pretty strong push coming out here for GuMiho to have to worry about.
Yes, he does, and unfortunately he's a little bit supply blocked, so won't be able to reinforce this all that well. Any units will come up back at home, but ThorZaIN is putting up a 3rd command center now, and moving out across the map. He's got to work his way up this small choke point.
Wow.
GuMiho doesn't have a lot. In fact, he's completely bypassing, caught out of position.
Yeah, what exactly does GuMiho even have to defend this? He's just got some units in the middle of the map. That one bunker isn't going to last very long. These Hellions, if ThorZaIN positions correctly, should do pretty badly. So,
wow.
That works okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Three of those go down very quickly. Just 1 Hellion remaining, and we'll see if ThorZaIN can continue this push. He's starting to leapfrog those tanks forward slowly but surely, so now he's in range of the command center.
Yep. And, oh, let's see, attack from both sides. GuMiho coming up from the bottom, too.
Yeah.
Is it going to be enough?
It might be, because these landed Vikings are not all that powerful, and already 2 of the tanks have fallen. We'll see if GuMiho has enough here, and unfortunately pulls his mule off the line, just runs it into the siege tank, but there are reinforcement rains coming down.
Oh, die, mule. And here comes some more Vikings for ThorZaIN. Oof. Not bad. He's going to be able to kill off both of these medevacs potentially as well. Gets 1 right away. And you know what? Now ThorZaIN's reinforcements can just come across the map, no problem. There's nothing cutting those off.
And GuMiho just going to run forward with his last Marauder, kills that final siege tank. And
that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good by ThorZaIN. He did a good amount of damage. He got himself a nice supply lead. Killed off some workers from GuMiho. And now he's taking a 3rd. Really well played by ThorZaIN.
And GuMiho now is committing to his bio upgrades for now. He did just finish up 1-1. He's got an armory on the way to eventually move into 2-2. And he's already got some Marauders thrown in the mix as well.
What's the worker count right now for both players? 50 to 45. All right, so yeah, GuMiho being very diligent about his worker production. So
yeah,
he's not held back too much by this. The big losses, of course, were his offensive army units more than anything.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't forced to pull too many workers offline. Pulled the mule offline, but unfortunately that can't attack. So
nope, not yet.
Heart of the
Storm?
Never know.
You never know.
We'll just chalk everything up to Heart of the
Battle
Storm.
Mule.
The Battle Mule?
Upgrade at the Planetary Fortress. Make a planetary and you can get the Battle Mule upgrade. Sounds pretty good to me.
That kind of makes me want to kill myself.
You scan and then call a bunch down in your opponent's mineral line. Ooh. Sounds good.
Sounds almost as cool as the Nexus turret, the the small energy power, the Assimilator Rush, which will become a threat in Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, I want to see how they handle that, because that's...
There's no way that stays in.
I haven't touched Heart of the Swarm yet at all. I haven't been to any of the events that have had it, unfortunately.
Made Destiny rage pretty hard with that, so...
It's very interesting. It's one of those things. I mean, obviously, when you have a very, very early beta like that, you're obviously going to have a lot of things in it that you're doing, you know, for hype to make people excited, but then also a lot of things that you're just trying out, you know, and plan to change anyway, so... I'm sure we're going to see a lot of changes from what we've seen so far to what actually comes out in the beta.
Some things that make people cry, like no carriers, but, you know.
Yeah.
All right, well, Command Center just about to finish up for GuMiho. He's back by 13 supply. Only 5 of that is workers, so he's maintained that same worker disparity, and he has a fair number of Marines on the field now. ThorZaIN going over to Blue Flame, but it's not going to be up for a while, and he doesn't have that many Hellions out right now. In fact, they're just running across the map.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see ThorZaIN go for this mech transition. I kind of thought he was going to stay on Marine tank this game, but thinking that he's got enough of a lead, he could switch over and do that. And he didn't have a whole lot of barracks or anything like that. I think he may have... Did he even just have 1 barracks? Because that wasn't a whole lot of Marines that he developed.
No, it wasn't. And oh, one of the Hellions gets caught. A second may go down here in just a second. No, pulls away just in time. Forces a stim out of GuMiho. But he's got enough energy that's not going to be that big of a problem. Supplies almost even for these 2 players. Of course, ThorZaIN had to invest in his infrastructure quite a bit. And GuMiho can produce those pretty cheap bio units rather efficiently. But of course, not as cost effective as the mech units from ThorZaIN.
This is a really good map for mech too, honestly. This is one of the better maps for mech versus bio in TVT, just because you've got that nice high ground ridge that goes along the natural and the third as well. So it's fairly easy to defend both locations as a meching Terran player. Get that maxed out army on 3 bases and then start to push out and do some damage here. So yeah, this is a good map for mech.
ThorZaIN going up to a 4th base now. He has another command center being constructed right up at the front. And GuMiho, on the other hand, has a monster amount of barracks, so his infrastructure is looking quite good, sitting on 3 bases. He does not have an intention to go up to a 4th right now, though, so we'll see if he just wants to make a big 2-base attack. He does have +3 weapons on the way, and probably should have... Excuse me, +3 armor coming out soon, too.
If he waits for +3 for his bio, though, ThorZaIN's going to have +2 for his vehicle weapons. Those tanks are going to be so deadly. He's also making 4 Hellions at once, too, so as long as he doesn't lose them, you know, trying to get in there and do little bits of SCV damage here and there, he should have plenty of buffer as well. Should own those Marines pretty quickly. But GuMiho looks like he might not wait for 3-3. He's moving across the map pretty aggressively right now. And he finds the medevac. There's nothing in it, but it does give ThorZaIN a nice little scout there.
And, catches the Hellions off to the left as well, so ThorZaIN has to watch out. Not going to be able to make his way in. GuMiho remaining pretty safe back at home and deciding to back away for the time being. Knows he can't assault a planetary fortress and a ton of siege tanks right away.
Not really, no. ThorZaIN tried to poke in at GuMiho's natural, but that got shut down right away. He's also trying to poke in at the 3rd, too, and may actually kill some SCVs if he controls this. Oh, ThorZaIN missing a big opportunity there.
Yeah, he could have killed probably 5 or 6 SCVs before going down, and GuMiho had the chance to react. Oh, and another bunch of Hellions may fall as well. ThorZaIN's got to watch out. That's 2 units gone. So he's just lost another 5 Hellions in total.
Oh, he's lucky he didn't lose those Hellions to that bio. You really do need to keep as many Hellions alive as you possibly can. You need to be active out on the map with them, but you can't sacrifice quite this many. This is a bit risky by ThorZaIN here.
Oh, ThorZaIN's a little bit out of position right now. GuMiho scans, sees all the Vikings, and he was positioning forward for a second, but ThorZaIN then starting to shift back some units. ThorZaIN, of course, only on 2 orbital commands, do not forget. And he's actually down by, what was 30 supply, but now 20 supply.
Yep. And it looks like he's got that 4th base pretty well locked down. It's going to be tough to do any damage to that with the planetary and all the siege tanks there. He may actually drop on these siege tanks. Ooh, yeah, he will. Okay, so ThorZaIN not reacting very quickly. Those siege tanks doing a lot of damage. Wow, 2 tanks getting taken out. Oh, and nice drawing the fire. Here comes GuMiho. This base is toast, man.
This guy is toast. And planetary fortress is going.
Or is it?
21 kills. Wow!
Whoa!
ThorZaIN, well done. Especially running through the back with the Vikings as well, which meant the medevac count was substantially reduced. So ThorZaIN retains that base. He lost a lot of tanks. Yes, his tank count is down to just 15 now. But
he barely got those SCVs there in time to repair. That's usually a situation where the planetary dies quicker than the player can react. But ThorZaIn, pretty slick APM there, managing to hold it off.
So my How Enter the Fist reference was for not ThorZaIn. Tisk.
Oh.
Let's see here. So
you should be able to beat him now.
What?
Yes.
You should. Okay, I'm done. I honestly go with Kung Pao references all day. So. Here's the nest, which is tiny.
That's such a great movie.
Oh my God! Now I have to watch Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
I like it. Planetary Fortress at risk.
Yes.
Nope. Never mind. It's safe now.
Refinery goes down, though, limiting the gas production, but of course ThorZaIN still working off of many, many gas geysers. The ones in his main haven't even gone down yet, so still has quite a bit of gas production. Both players almost max. GuMiho going to try and siege up on the high ground here and has a pretty good fire line. We'll see if ThorZaIN tries to break this, and it looks like he is. Sieging up pretty aggressively on the ramp. GuMiho only shifting a few of his forces, though. Doesn't take out as many units as I think he could have. Now has to fall back. He only engaged with about half of his bio there.
Yeah, ThorZaIN is in a great position to keep pushing here. Oh, he needs to be careful, though. GuMiho. Oh, this may be a mistake by our Talitaran.
We'll find out. He's going to crush. Whoa, he actually destroys way more of the units than I thought he was going to, because not all of the tanks were actually up at the front. ThorZaIn lost a couple of Vikings in there as well, so supplies almost even. GuMiho finally working off of a fourth base now, though.
Yeah, looks like GuMiho's going to siege up that planetary from the high ground. That's going to be a little bit difficult for ThorZaIn to break here. Now, and he's lost some mining at that fourth base now.
Yeah, he may lose that base.
Yes, he might.
Now, kind of an important thing to note is that GuMiho was working off of 4 orbital commands this entire time, whereas ThorZaIn was working off of just 2 that really helped GuMiho battle back into the supply game with the increased economy.
The planetary, it's being repaired. Looks like ThorZaIn wants to move in and try to take out these tanks.
Yeah, and he will, but he suffers some losses in the meantime and takes out a couple of Hellions as well. Pretty good spread of his Hellions at the end, though.
Not bad at all. All right, so ThorZaIn getting himself out of a pretty risky situation there, but GuMiho does have his fourth base up and running, and he might just decide to go for the natural here. It looks like, too, ThorZaIn's unit's a little bit out of position here because of that.
Well, let's find out, as there is a defensive planetary fortress up for ThorZaIn, protecting everything into the main. You kind of have to do that. We'll see how GuMiho reacts. Looks like he's going to go right after that defensive planetary initially. ThorZaIn already repairing that up, though. Not many of the forces coming back. Now finally ThorZaIn does, but he does hold on the back of that planetary fortress.
Yes, he does, and here comes ThorZaIn's army now. No way GuMiho is beating this.
No, he is absolutely not. Gets everything destroyed in a heartbeat. Down 144 supply to 168. Getting a little bit worse for him. He's finally starting to add on a ton of bio units, though.
ThorZaIn is just playing the epitome of a safe mech game this time. I mean, not moving across map any farther than he has to. GuMiho pushing in here, but as you can see, you know, the bio count going lower. He's adding on some siege tanks, but I almost feel like that's hurting him a little bit, just because he's not quite as mobile as he would be otherwise, and the siege tank upgrades for GuMiho are so far behind ThorZaIn, who's just about to finish 3-3.
All right, well, let's see here now as ThorZaIn, he's in danger of losing that refinery again. It's been a hotly contested refinery. Yeah, he's working off of quite a few gas now, though, and GuMiho trying to run and pick off a couple of tanks. At the same time, ThorZaIn actually detects this orbital command and tries to move in and drop it. Once again, GuMiho on top of that. Yep,
GuMiho's done a good job of leaving some Marauders at home to stay safe. Oh, ThorZaIn not paying attention to his Vikings. A lot of damage being done to his air. Ouch.
A little surprising. Yes. Wow, GuMiho with a 30 supply advantage now because he is able to reproduce so much quicker on those bio units with that fleet of barracks, but also producing 3 tanks at a time now.
Now, here's something kind of big. ThorZaIn has a 5th base going down full swing in the lower right part of the map, too, that GuMiho does not know about yet. That's pretty big.
And, ooh, these Hellions have killed quite a few SCVs on the high ground. So that economy will come back to hurt. No, I mean, there was almost no SCV killing in the beginning, and they just got 9 SCV kills.
Too. I wonder if he pulled some away.
Yeah.
Who knows?
He did get 9 SCV kills right there. Certainly no slouch of that. So the orbital command taking some damage. The Vikings were just saying, okay, yeah, go ahead. We don't mind.
And GuMiho trying to move in here. Dangerous move by GuMiho.
Very GuMiho move, though, to aggressively push in and try and take out this force. Nonetheless, he does evaporate the siege tank line. He can start laying siege to the planetary fortress, but actually has to watch out for these units on the high ground. Picks off a couple of SCVs with that as well.
Yeah. Supply is basically evened up here now, but like we said, you know, GuMiho just reinforcing so much quicker, though. ThorZaIn making 4 Hellions and 4 tanks at once, but this planetary, which has been the source of so many fights, looks like its days may finally be numbered here.
Yeah, he's at least pulling off quite a bit of mining. SCVs moving around the right to head down to the bottom right-hand corner expansions. Take a look at how many bases are mined out. That one is. GuMiho still got some pretty good mining on his 3rd, 4th, and obviously 5th. ThorZaIn not mining at his 4th, but has plenty of minerals there.
No.
Misses the SCVs down at the bottom right, and here comes a pretty good test for some Marauders. They've got to watch out, though. Is high-sec auto-tracking done? No, so just a 6-range planetary fortress.
Yeah, it'd be tough to get back behind that with the way the base is laid out, but high-sec auto-tracking would definitely be a good thing for ThorZaIn research right now.
Yeah. SUV able to range all the way back through his mineral line and hit the marauders that are killing SUVs back there. So not a bad choice if he decides to go for it.
All right, and it looks like GuMiho may send another task force down to the other base too at this point. We'll see if ThorZaIN can defend once again.
Well, let's see here as ThorZaIN trying to put up as many units as he can, but GuMiho, you know, he's on +2 attacks for his mech. Yes, there's +3 armor for ThorZaIN, but he still has quite powerful tanks himself. And look at this, lone tank moves up, picks off 2 himself, but at the same time, a base goes down at the bottom right.
Yeah, that's big. GG.
GG!